Bonjour. Today we're going to talk about two things. It shouldn't take too long. The first thing we're going to talk about is a new verb called avoir. And the other thing we're going to talk about is adjective placement, where adjectives go, which order they go in a sentence. Because we have a new verb, avoir, let's take a moment to look back at the first verb that we learned, être. So remember that we have to conjugate verbs. We take it from its base form, the infinitive, and we conjugate it. We break it down so that these forms that you see in green match our subject pronouns in blue. So the conjugation of être is je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Now we have the verb avoir. Avoir means to have. Like être means to be, avoir is to have. So we conjugate it thusly. Et, a, avons, avez, on. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit more slowly. The first thing that you'll notice is that instead of having je, J, E, we have a J apostrophe. And the reason for this is that the verb conjugation for avoir starts with a vowel. So anytime the verb starts with a vowel in the je form, it's going to drop the E in je, and we're going to have an apostrophe instead. So that leaves us with j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Now, one thing that you might have noticed while I was pronouncing these last three is that we have a liaison in all of them, okay? So the S in nous creates a Z sound at the beginning of the A, right? Listen. Nous avons, okay? Same thing in the vous. It creates a little liaison, okay? Creates a Z sound. Vous avez, okay? And it's the same thing with the il and elle plural because they also end in an S. We have a liaison, okay? Ils ont, elles ont, right? Now here, I just want to very quickly compare and contrast the il and elle plural forms in être and avoir because they're very close and people tend to mistake them one for the other. So in être, okay, to be, so they are, it starts with an S, okay? And even though we don't pronounce the S in il, we do hear the S in sont because it's the beginning of the word. So you have ils sont. It's a really soft S sound, okay? Ils sont, elles sont. All right. Now in avoir, there's no S at the beginning of the verb. It's just ONT. So because of that liaison that we talked about just a moment ago, it's going to create a Z sound, all right? Ils ont, elles ont, all right? We have a Z sound. So that's the difference that you're going to hear and see is the difference between the S and the nothing at all, okay? Which in turn from our liaison will create the sound of a Z. Okay, so in this slide, we're going to talk about something called syntax. Now, you may have heard the word syntax before. It might sound like a big scary word to you, but syntax just means the order of the words in the sentence, okay? So, for example, in English, we say the green pencil or the purple pencil pouch, the gray computer, the yellow backpack, the white eraser. So the syntax in English is that the adjective, in this case they're all colors, that the adjective goes before the noun it's describing. In French, it's the other way around. Okay? In French, the syntax, the word order, is such that first we have the noun and then we have the adjective. Okay? So instead of the green pencil, we have le crayon vert, la trousse violette, l'ordinateur gris, le sac à dos jaune, les gommes blanches. And notice that the colors still agree with the noun, okay? La trousse, feminine, we have the feminine form of purple. Ordinateur, masculine form of gray. Gomme is feminine, and in this case it's also plural, and we've made it feminine plural at the end here. So, to recap, colors, just like many, in fact, I'm just going to say most adjectives, go at the very end of the noun. Okay, so we've talked about the verb avoir, and we've talked about the syntax of adjectives and nouns in French, so the order in which they go. So let's do a little bit of practice. To start with, we have the word, I have a black pen. So in order to translate this sentence into French, we need to know our subject pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. We need to know how to conjugate the verb avoir. We need to know our vocabulary. And we need to know the order, the syntax, the order that all the words go in. All right? So let's start it out. I have. J'ai. Okay, a black pen. Now we just learned that nouns need to go before the adjective, okay? So here black is the adjective. We know that that's going to go at the end. So we need to think about the word pen first. The word for a pen is un stylo. All right? And then we just have to say the adjective now. Noir. J'ai un stylo noir. Next, we have some orange pencils, right? So when you think about we have is nous avons. Okay? Some orange pencils. Okay, well, we need to think about our noun first. So our noun is crayon, and in this case, it's plural, and it's also telling us some. So we're not going to use le, la, les here. We're going to use un, une, des, and because it's plural, it's des. Des crayons. And what color pencils do we have? Orange. Notice that even though crayon is plural, orange, we don't add an S to it. Remember that orange and marron, the word for brown, never change to agree with the noun. It's just two really small exceptions. They don't agree. They're called invariable adjectives. They do not vary. They do not change. All right? Let's move on to our last example. She has a red binder. Okay, so she has. Elle a. Okay, and now we need to think about our noun. Okay, a binder. How do we say a binder? Un classeur. And finally, what color of classeur? It is rouge. All right. So, j'ai un stylo noir. Nous avons des crayons orange. Elle a un classeur rouge. Not too shabby. All in all, a pretty short video. I'm going to wish you bonne chance, and I will see you next time.